Hey everybody, what is up? Dreamers, good to see ya. Hope you've been dreaming awesome since the last time I seen ya. In this episode of Mobius Final Fantasy, best mobile game there is, we're gonna take a quick look at the Mercenary of Balamb, your boy Squall. Now let's take a dang look. We're gonna take a look at everything real quick. Let's strip him down just to see his base stats real quick, and then we'll build him right back up. Let's put just a horrible blade on him and everything, just everything bad. Here we go. One of these. So, as you can see, when you're just starting out, he's fucking solid. He's pretty solid. He's looking pretty solid. You got 5.4k HP. You're getting 565 attack. 228 break power is pretty low. We'll talk a little bit more about that later, but the magic is going to stay solid. The stats just overall look beefy. Beefy as fudge. 3 stars defense base. His speed's right up there. His crit is up there. So let's talk about... Let's just look at the job card real quick. Let's see what's going on up in here. Talking about a young mercenary with the heart of a lion. Scarred but steadfast. Okay. Trained in the Balamb Garden to defeat an evil witch. He is a master of fire, wind, and darkness. His offensive abilities including his ultimate, are unrivaled. So, Devastating Slug. Pretty much every time I've seen this thing go off in like multiplayer, it does max damage. It does tons of damage. No break power on the thing. So, keep that in mind when you're using this to do damage in multiplayer and single player, that it's just not going to do any break power damage. Lightning fast, slice or whatever. It looks really cool. It also gives you Warrior's Trance. Now that is freaking awesome. I mean, it's a little late. It's coming to us a little late, honestly, because, like, these days we're just gonna trance at the beginning of the fight anyway. With either the Aerith healers, or these days we've got trance cards that are accessible, so you're going to be able to trance before you get your limit off, hopefully, but if not, this is a good way to get your trance off. Say if you're not bringing a trance card in your deck, like, which is possible. Clutch Barrier, Clutch Brave, Clutch Drain, Clutch Berserk. These are all really good. The Clutch Berserk is a little scary. Because when you're down on your knees, like, what do you want? 15% more damage intake, but for 50% more damage output on Berserk, you're talking about being able to kill what's killing you before it kills you or whatever. Also, you can get heal drives of fire, wind, and dark. 2% heal drives there. This is where it gets beautiful. Oh my god, I can't even believe what I'm looking at. Enhanced fire 120, wind 120, dark 120. Now let's take a quick look here. Balamb Mercenary, he's like S1C. He doesn't have other elements, another setup that you can equip him with. Fire, wind, and dark is it. It's everything for him. But he's probably the first class that is completely set up to do damage in any element you want, which means he's versatile. You can set him up to do tons of fire damage, tons of wind, tons of dark. I mean, strong as hell, basically. The element starter 16 and then an extended break plus 4 is basically kind of a given at this point. Painful break plus 50% just on him is beautiful. That means after you break stuff, you're going to do 50% more damage. Now, breaking is where the Balamb Mercenary kind of sucks. The break power is not so high. You can offset that in single player by bringing a break defense down card, which you probably have access to. If not, you're gonna want one. You're gonna want one, at least a single target one. So I'd pick one up in the shop. You're gonna have your biggest issue is gonna be breaking stuff. Other than that, you're gonna be able to kill most things even over the break bar, as long as it's not like a boss or something. Also, exploit weakness plus 50%. This is gorgeous to have on any job, especially as an innate ability. It's going to help you do just ridiculous damage. Now, I would say the best thing to do with the Balamb Mercenary is to set him up to fight against weaknesses, just based off of his innate auto abilities. We'll talk about his weapon and everything, what the best weapons are right now as far as warriors go anyways. Prismatic Draw plus 15 is also freaking amazing. Also, we almost skipped this over, improved crits plus 50%, so when you do crits, it's going to do 50% more damage. So he's just set up to be a powerhouse with damage, really. So you can kind of set him up with basically weak cards, and he's still going to do pretty close to max damage, if not just do max damage. Also, so we talked about that. Prismatic Draw is just amazing. You're just going to be able to do more things with that. Kill and Draw is good. Ultimate Charge +3. So every turn you're just gonna charge your ultimates +3, which is amazing. Avert attack down, so his attack cannot be dropped, which is awesome. When you job change, it's gonna shift your elements over to fire. The rest of this is pretty basic. He's an attacker for multiplayer, so you're gonna have 50% more damage on your abilities. Also, your area ultimates. What is this? Abilities charge the ultimate gauges of all parties. So when you do an ability, any kind of ability card, you're gonna charge up your ults for the whole party. So that is pretty awesome. Let's talk about a setup really quick. So you kind of can't go wrong setting this guy up. You really can't. For single player, I would do something like, if you've got the Undying cards, you know, maxed out. Mine's not maxed out yet. So we'll just build the best we can with the deck we currently have. You probably may have better cards than I have right now, but let's just throw on. Let's go ahead and throw on maybe. Let's do this one. Let's do Ultimate Boon, and then we'll do some form of Hasten Quicken, so we can like just get through everything a little faster. So Garuda, we'll just do that, and then for attack cards. I mean, you've got access to... See, here's the other thing. There's no super solid, super duper strong cards as far as fire attacks go, and as far as wind attack goes. So that's why I've really been having a fun time using this job. I've seen people pretty much get away with anything with the Balamb Merc. I've seen this card used as a damage card. The Odin card is not a damage card, it's a crit resist down, but it's pretty solid here. I've seen it do some pretty amazing damage, and you know, I'm just impressed. Also, we have a couple of fire cards that you can use that are pretty decently strong. If you don't have anything at all, then using like a Sicarius card maxed out would be really, really strong on this job. Otherwise, I'm using Terra Sword. It's nothing special. 750 attack power with 450 break. It's nothing too special, but I've seen this ability do max damage with this class just over and over. So probably something like that, or you could, if you have the Bosch Final Fantasy 12 card, you could use the Bosch card. I don't like it as much for single player because it doesn't do any break bar damage. And then let's talk about weapons really quick. So this is how I would set my deck up, something like this. Usually for single player, I'll use 2 supports and 2 attack cards. And I just kind of run with that, and usually it doesn't fail me usually. So as far as weapons go, so what weapon we're gonna put on this job? For single player, I would probably want something to charge my ults. I don't know, I'm just kind of a big ult user in general. You'll find that out. I'm sure many of you guys already know that from just like watching me play and stuff. But let's talk about just doing straight damage. So I like this weapon because of the ultimate charge it gives you, and this job has really strong ultimates. Most jobs have pretty solid ultimates, so I like this weapon a lot. The Kane's Lance. It comes from the High Wind. So for damage though, what I would normally bring, usually for single player, I just go ahead and bring the Masamune X. It's solid weapon, pretty good stats right off the bat. This is unenhanced, completely unenhanced, and it's still, as you can see, it's giving me really good stats. So it's one of my favorite weapons for single player. It just does what you need. It lets you do everything you need to. Usually the reunion on it is Bay. The life draw on it's pretty Bay too. But for damage, let's talk about this really quick. So until the Gunblade came out, pretty much everybody was leveling up their Braveheart X as far as like warrior damage goes. I think finally the Braveheart X is kind of getting, it's a little bit put to rest because of the Braveheart. I mean the Gunblade X. So let me just, first of all, I'm missing an auto ability on this. I'm missing improved crits. So I should have my third ability on here, should be improved crits 50%. I don't have it, which already makes this weapon trash. Already is trash. Painful Break is okay. It's okay. Looks like we can get up to, we're at 27% on this. It starts out at about 20%. Now, if you don't have the Gunblade, the Braveheart's the way to go. But once you get your Gunblade, now this is enhanced a little bit. I just got Exploit Weakness 50%. Very lucky to be able to get that so early. What I like about it is you don't have to have your target broken for this weapon. So, it's essentially almost the same weapon as the Braveheart X. The only thing that's changed is the Braveheart has Painful Break, which means you have to break your target to do the max damage. And then the Gunblade is rocking a ability chain, which using abilities in succession raises damage by 30%, 31% on my weapon. And then improved crits. This is just great. This is just great to have in general, especially when you're talking about the Gunblade gives you a base extra, like, what is that, like 3-4 stars crit. So that's amazing. And then Exploit Weakness. This is going to give you 100% Exploit Weakness, basically. Exploit Weaknesses just went up to 100%. So, super duper good job and weapon. Very good weapon. It's my new warrior weapon. Not only because it's a badass Gunblade, but it's also the strongest warrior weapon we've got right now. As far as when it's fully enhanced. So, check out the stats we've got right now, you guys. Really, really bulky. This is a single player hero right here. HP's over almost 12k HP. You're talking about almost 1,000 attack power. The break power sucks. The break power does suck. It's only 321. That's why in single player I'd probably stick to something with like a little bit higher break power. Like, I've been kind of increasing it on my Kane's Lance. The break power is not good. That's where you're gonna have the most issues with this job. If you have a breaker sub or any other job that helps you break pretty much, you're gonna have a much easier time kind of slotting in and out. But the magic is pretty damn good. You know, almost 700 base magic, which isn't super high, but you can get that a lot higher. I mean, this weapon is basically not even enhanced yet. And then in my panels, I don't like to switch these up every week, so I go for magic percentage. If you're the type that doesn't mind switching them up every week, you have the skill seeds for it, then you would want to just enhance whichever element you were fighting, you were using, you know, for the multiplayer boss to do maximum damage, because your damage comes from exploiting weaknesses on this job. Now let's compare it really quick to another top tier job right now, just so we can get kind of a general idea. So let's kind of look at the... We can actually... If we switch all these... Hold on. So let's do a quick test. Just for testing purposes, let's switch all these cards to dark, so that we can compare it to the high wind, because the high wind is a really solid job right now as far as damage goes. Let's take a look at the stats, compare these stats together. So what the Balamb Mercenary kind of lacks, the high wind kind of picks up the slack. High wind has way less HP, way less HP. That's going to hurt you a little bit in single player, but the break power is a little better. It is a little bit better on the high wind. The attack power is higher on high wind, and the magic is almost 200% higher. You're not losing any crits or speed, but you are losing some defense with the high wind. The high wind is a little squishier. The Balamb Merc is gonna... The survivability on the Balamb Mercenary on Squall is just really high. And then if we compare it to like any other job, really, we can kind of see. We can kind of do Soldier First Class. So Soldier First Class is just kind of falling behind at this point. Still a really good solid job, but just kind of falling behind compared to the newer jobs that are coming out. So let's talk about multiplayer really quick. What would I set up for multiplayer, you think? So I mean, it depends. It really depends on the week it is. This week, currently, we're fighting Heki, so Earth and Fire. So this week you'd want to set up something like the wind card works good, and then you'd want to switch this fire card out for like either more wind, or you want to use like some darkness or something, just something else. We can go with let's see, if you have Arden's a really good card. So something like that, or you know, something. And then we'll switch this card out because not everybody has this, but you probably do have some form of trance. So multiplayer. This is one of the decks I really like. For the Balamb, I love Berserk on this job. I feel like if you're not using Berserk, and ignore these auto abilities, they're not that great. If you're not using Berserk on your Balamb, you're just wasting a lot of power basically, because you're so tanky that you're going to be able to survive hits, like pretty solid, pretty devastating hits that would one-shot most people. It's going to be fine for you. So I think with the HP and the defense stars, you're going to really be able to have a fun time with this job, for sure. Especially with Berserk. Now, I mean, you could change this for like a shift, a force. Same here. I think we're getting to a point where we have a lot more card options, so it's not set in stone what you need to run. I always like to have an AoE CRD in my fights, and I always like to have a main target focused damage card in any fight, no matter what, when we're talking about multiplayer. The other two cards I bring are just kind of, you know, just there. If you've got an Earth Healer, you're not going to need the trance, so you could switch it out for something like a shift. I'd go for more of a shift card than I would a force card on this job, just because the shift is probably going to do you awesome, really. But a force card will work just as well. It's just what you're really. It comes down to what you're more used to. So we could even go with the Odin card to give us a fire force shift type of force. I mean, if you've got Afnak, if you've got Kujata, they're all good. They're really all good, honestly. And then I would run it, you know, something like that. And, like, you'll be fine. I mean, check these stats out. You're still solid. You're going to be able to murder stuff. The magic is a little low, but you make up for it with all the damage auto abilities that you got. So as you can see, we're running into this battle. We're enhanced like crazy. I mean, the fire is fire, wind, and dark, 120%. So no matter what we do, it's going to do 120% more damage. And then if we're hitting with a weakness, we're going to do double damage. So it's amazing. It's a great job. Looks amazing. You got that sweet ass outfit, and that freaking gunblade is sick. The gunblade's sick. So if you have any questions, please leave a comment down below. Leave a comment down there. You know, I always try to get back to them. Right behind me, right here, you guys. We're watching the solar eclipse, so happy eclipse to you guys. Look at that. It's almost completely eclipsed. I'm gonna probably go outside in a second to enjoy it. So I hope it's been awesome for you guys. Hit us up. Hit us up in that Dreamer Society Discord. Links will be down below for that. And I'll see you on twitch.tv/RobbieDag. I'll see you there. We do live shows Monday through Friday. Sometimes weekends too, baby. So I'll see you there. Always good to have you. We'll do it again soon, guys. In the meantime, best of luck to you. Take it easy. Wish you the best.